Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I want to do is talk about something that I found extremely pertinent in my endeavors as I start working with entrepreneurs, and maybe you as a small business owner or a commercial real estate agent that's newer in your career working with small startups may find valuable as well. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the top 3 reasons why business owners fail as it pertains to identifying and securing commercial space for their own use. Now, before we dive in this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now that you've done that, go ahead and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive right into this episode. All right, so as I mentioned before, these are the top 3 reasons why I see business owners fail as it pertains to identifying and securing their commercial space. Now, the first and primary reason why these business owners fail is that they don't know their numbers. I can't tell you how many times I've started to work with startups, and I've asked them questions related to how much it costs to produce their product or service, maybe other things related to what the expenses are to be able to produce that product and service, and they have no idea anything about that particular line item. And so what ends up happening is that even if I were to help you find a great space that's in a great area that supports your use immensely, if you don't understand your numbers, you may underprice your product or service, you may overprice it and not be able to attract the right clientele, and again, you may not succeed regardless of whatever space you're in. So first and foremost, you got to get very clear on what your numbers are, because again, 50% or more percent of business owners fail within the first 5 years. So you have to have a healthy level of paranoia when it comes to determining what exactly your business is going to be able to produce over the course of those first 5 years to be able to ensure that you survive and prosper within the environment. So step number 1 is get clear on your numbers. There's various different organizations out there that can help you identify, create a business plan or whatever else. The Small Business Administration has free services that they offer where you can go on site and you can meet with coaches who have, a lot of them have been entrepreneurs in the past, and they'll be able to help you come up with projections and write your business plan. So at least you get an idea of what it's going to cost you and, what the projections are going to look like. So once you do find a space, you can hit the ground running. So that's number 1, is get your numbers in order. Get really clear on what those are. Number 2 is not understanding what your cash outflow is going to be when it comes to your lease agreement. Now, a lot of newer business owners just see the rent that they see, the base rent for a space, and they assume that's all that's going to be required as far as their financial commitment is concerned. But that is often not the case. In particular, if you're in a retail and industrial space, there is something known as a triple net lease. What triple net leases mean is that you as a tenant are responsible for your pro rata share of taxes, insurance, and general maintenance on the property. And this is typically expressed in a price per square foot basis. So for example, if you are looking at a 3,000 square foot space, and the landlord has said that the triple net expenses for that space are $2 a square foot, that means you're going to be responsible for $500 per month in additional expenses outside of your base rent. So if you yourself have not properly projected that within your analysis, that could bode pretty badly for your business. And so getting really clear on what the financial commitment of that space is going to be extremely important. Along with that, understanding the time commitment as well, because a lot of business owners that I start working with, they have this unrealistic expectation that a landlord's going to be willing to give them a 6-month lease, or maybe they're willing to sign a 3-year lease, but they want a termination within 6 months. A lot of time that's not what's going to happen. And so they end up spinning their wheels for 6 months, 12 months, etc., and then they get very disheartened. So understand that anytime you're going to take on a financial and time commitment as it pertains to your business, you're going to have to understand that and be willing to commit a lot of times for 3 years a minimum to the space. So those are some of the things you need to consider prior to actually entering into any lease agreement. And that's something that as a business owner, you have to be very clear on before you do take that commitment. And then finally, number 3 is to get very clear on the dynamics of a lease. A lot of times, startups that aren't being represented by commercial real estate agents or experienced commercial real estate attorneys end up signing leases that are heavily favor the landlord. And when things go wrong within that lease agreement, they're kind of held to the fire, and there's nothing they can do about it. I had a friend who had one of his friends who ran a gym, and they did a very expensive build out, only signed a three-year lease, didn't have any options on the back end, meaning they couldn't renew their lease at some predetermined rates. And now the landlord at the end of their lease term said, hey, we're going to jack up the rents, and there was nothing they could do about it. And they had spent a significant amount of money in the build out, And if they decided to leave, they would no longer be able to recoup that investment as it pertains to their build out. So again, getting very clear on what the lease agreement is stating. And if you don't understand what it's saying, get a lawyer involved. And this is something that I work with a lot of startups on. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot give you legal advice, but I read a lot of leases and I work with startups. And as we're going through the process of getting them into a space, I help them look through these lease agreements and identify points that I think are probably something we should have a lawyer review. And therefore, I can pass them along to various different contacts that I have that are phenomenal commercial real estate attorneys that will make sure your best interests are protected. So anytime you're reviewing a lease agreement, get professionals involved. This includes a commercial real estate agent and also a commercial real estate attorney. And that's number 3 in the list of things that if you do all these things, you'll put yourself in a position to be successful as you're looking to secure a commercial space for your business. So I hope you gained some value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message. If you're in the Louisville metro area and you're looking for space for your business, feel free to reach out to me. I'm a commercial real estate agent. I've helped many different types of businesses identify and secure space for their business. Again, you can reach out to me via email at raphael@crisantigroup.com, or you can call me or text me at 502-536-7315. Again, thank you all so much for your support, and we'll see you all next time.